That hurt. That really did hurt. And it certainly wasn't pleasant. And it certainly wasn't pleasant for the 8-year-old nonverbal girl with autism who was allegedly taped up by her paraprofessional while attending the ACEs program within the Barnegat Township School District in Barnegat, New Jersey. Today, you're going to hear her story. I'm Joe Montgomery from educationlawyers.com, and we represent this student and we represent her family. Today, you're going to hear from her mother, Cassie Spinelli, a fierce advocate and the adoptive parent of this little girl, and a voice that deserves to be heard. You'll also hear from Bradley Flynn, an attorney with Montgomery Law who has been working very closely on this case as we fight for justice, accountability, and real change. We have to warn you that you're going to hear disturbing details that have not been shared yet publicly. You're going to hear how her wrists were bound with tape. You're going to hear how her mouth was bound with tape. You're going to hear how her ankles were bound with tape. And you're going to hear how the school told parent not to worry, it was a joke. You're going to hear how this happened multiple times. You're going to hear who the parent of the alleged perpetrator was, and you won't believe it. Mom is willing to share with you today because she believes that transparency is the only path towards justice. Of course, everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and we're basing this interview off of the information available to us today. As more information unfolds, we'll make updates as necessary. Now join us as we share this story and shed light on something that should have never been permitted to happen in a public school. When did you first learn that your child may have been tied up at school?
The director of the Barnegat School District called me about 12:30 or 1 o'clock. He said, we're doing our own investigation because there was inappropriate use of tape. And I said, inappropriate use of tape? I said, I don't understand what that means. And he said, I don't really either, but there's an investigation going on and you'll learn everything or you'll hear everything.
Shortly after the call with the director, Spinelli received a call from someone she believes to have been associated with the Barnegat Township Police Department.
And he said that my daughter's wrists were bound together with tape. And he asked me if I wanted to press charges. And I told him that I wanted to wait till I had more information. Then he calls me back another half hour later and tells me that there's tape over her mouth. And then the next day I met the detective on the case and he showed me the 3 pictures. And that's when I discovered that her ankles were bound together. And that it happened on more than one occasion because there was 2 different outfits out of the 3 pictures. It's her ankles, her wrist, and over her mouth. He showed me the evidence. There were 3 pictures. 2 were taken on March 28th. And that was her bound by her mouth, her wrist, and that's when I discovered she was bound by her ankles as well. And then there was another one taken where she's in a different outfit on March 18th. And I believe all that was visible was the tape on her mouth in that one. It was taken at a strange angle, like someone was trying to hide that they were taking the photo.
And at this point, do you have any idea, or has there been any allegation as to who, in fact, may have been taping your daughter up?
I was then told her one-to-one paraprofessional was the one that did the tape and took the picture.
What answers have you received from the school district, and is there anything they're still not saying?
The next thing I got was the same letter that everyone got in the district from the superintendent.
Other than this letter that was sent out generally to everybody in the district, have you received anything else from the district?
No.
And have you received an incident report or anything like this?
I have not. I was told it was a joke and not used for restraint purposes.
What is the current status, if you know of any police investigation?
I was told by the detective that they're closing the cases because the prosecutor determined that this wasn't a criminal offense because it wasn't duct tape and the fact that it was blue painter's tape.
Do you feel as though the school and or the police are taking this with the appropriate level of seriousness?
I do not.
How do you think that may be?
When I initially called the detective with the director, he kept saying that it was a joke.
Do you find this funny whatsoever?
No, I'm not laughing.
And there's an allegation that the paraprofessional who may have been the individual that bound your daughter by her ankles, wrists, and mouth was the daughter of the principal of the neighboring school. Has this been expressed to you?
I didn't realize that until it all kind of came out on Facebook. And I never made the connection, although they do have the same last name. I thought a pretty common name.
And do you think that relationship could have had anything to do with why this was able to go on for so long, or why it was not immediately reported to you?
I do. I think some people might have been discouraged to come forth and speak up about what's happening due to the relation she has to other people's in the school district.
Has anybody from the school reached out to apologize to you?
They have not.
Has anyone from the school reached out to see how your daughter was doing?
They have not.
Do you feel as though your child was targeted as a result of her disability?
I find it interesting that the other child it was done to, they kind of have similar profiles and similarities amongst their disability.
Is it your understanding that your daughter was not the only student to have been taped by this paraprofessional or other staff members?
I was told that another student had to be interviewed as well for this.
What do you want to see happen next, not just for your child, but for every child that receives special education?
I just want genuine people that want to help these children to come forward and work with them. And the ones that it's just not for them and they don't have this kind of empathy and understanding, I'm basically trying to say, like, if this isn't for you, please leave. No one told you you have to work with children. Like, if you don't have the patience for children, be aware and just move on, find a new career path. Don't be an educator if you don't have the level of patience to work with special needs students with very unique needs.
Brad, have you reached out to anybody from the Barnegat School District yet regarding this incident?
Yeah, numerous times. I've been reaching out since the family first engaged us, and I've been met with a little bit of resistance on the end of the school district.
Has the district taken full accountability, or are they still downplaying what happened?
They're still downplaying what's happened.
What's the district's position seem to be at this point?
They haven't offered a position. They haven't really responded to us other than to stonewall. The lawyer who typically represents this district indicated that she is not representing the district in this matter and that different counsel will be reaching out to us. We filed an educational due process or administrative lawsuit to vindicate the child's right to a free, appropriate public education.
What are you demanding on behalf of this family?
We're seeking justice on behalf of this family, and that's going to take the form of monetary relief, but it's also going to take the form of a new, safe, loving learning environment for the child where she will be safe from this type of harm and abuse.
What has the aftermath of the realization that your daughter had been restrained in school on multiple occasions, judging by the various outfits, what's the aftermath been for you and your family, your daughter in particular?
I can't even talk right now. I'm so sorry. My daughter and our world is completely rocked. My daughter is an 8-year-old nonverbal child with autism, and she can't come home and tell me how her day is. The most I can get out of her is a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And she's not able to tell me how the incident went. So I had to take my daughter to ER to get a sexual abuse scan. I can't even say it. I'm sorry. It's hard to let my brain go there. These careless and cruel employees from her school decided to tape up my daughter. And I have to do my own investigation to figure out what happened because she isn't able to come forth and tell me. I had to take her to get a full body exam to rule out any type of abuse, including sexual. And that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. And I really, I don't even know. I don't even know. My daughter had to sit on a medical table with multiple adults around her, stripping her naked and examining her body. And she shouldn't have even had to been subjected to doing this. This shouldn't have even been an option. I'm sorry.
We can stop. We can stop.